So I just wanted to do a very brief sort of like overview slash review of what I think is probably the best sort of starter sim racing setup you can really get. Um, I opted for the T300RS GT over the Logitech just for the smoother force feedback and better force feedback strength. And all I can say is I'm very happy with it so far. Um, I actually bought it used off a guy who, unfortunately, he was disabled, and he bought it to try and get into sim racing, and he thought he could sort of adapt it to work with to work for him because he only had one leg, but sadly he just couldn't get it to work for him. So he boxed it all up and put it in the loft for a year, and then he decided to sell it, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace. So I ended up buying it off him for far less than what they cost new, but it came in as new condition. Um, so yeah, really happy with that. And then I got the Playseat challenge, which I'm sure everyone's already familiar with. Um, Again, I bought this used, same kind of thing. A guy bought it to get into sim racing, but kind of lost interest, so I got that for like £70 when they retail for 160. Same with the wheel. That's about 360, I think, and I got that for 170. Um, the only issue with the play seat, which is quite a common issue, is the fabric around here can pop out a little bit. All it needs is a bit of fabric glue, just kind of like get something blunt to push it back in and glue it in place. But honestly, I don't really care. Like, it doesn't affect it at all. So yeah, then I got my PS5 on the TV there, and it works flawlessly with the PS5, by the way. No compatibility issues at all. You just need to make sure it's on the PS4 mode there, and you also need to update the firmware for it to run correctly on the PS5. I think it's firmware version 34. So yeah, I'll very briefly talk about the modifications I've done to it. First one, simple USB 2 extension cable, because I feel like the cable is a bit too short. I know for immersion I should sit as close to the TV as possible, really, but I just don't like to do that. I like to sit a bit further back. So another really good mod, which is quite common on the sim racing subreddit. Sadly, because I bought this used, obviously with the wheel, I guess the guy lost the bracket, the conical brake mod bracket. There should be like a little bracket here with a little rubber cone sticking out. He lost that, so a really good workaround is a squash ball. You can buy these on Amazon for like £4 or £5. Get the 2 dot ones, place that there, and then you've got what feels very similar to the brake in my real car. You get this initial push, which is quite easy, and then as you really compress it, you get really just a really good progressive feel, and it's really been improving my lap times. It just feels really natural. I definitely recommend it. It looks like it would pop out, but it doesn't. It did once or twice when the ball was brand new, but I don't know if you can see. It's sort of worn a bit from constantly being pressed against, and it's given it this textured feel, which I guess is helping it sit in place. With that said, I have ordered the conical brake mod with the bracket from Thrustmaster for about £18, which is fair enough. So I guess you could say the wheel and pedals cost 190, but yeah, it's minor. Another good mod: hard mount the pedal deck to the hard mount the pedals to the pedal deck, just with a couple of hose clamps there. M6 bolts, doesn't move an inch. It's brilliant. Another good one for some basic cable management. These you can buy off Amazon, I think, for like a £5. It's just a cable tidy thing. So I've sort of cable tied these through that that hole there, and then I'm protecting it with this, and that's cable tied to the frame. You basically want all your cables to run on this side because obviously that swings open to get in and out, and you don't want to be straining the cables every time you do that. So then I've got it. Lily Lily wants to play. So yeah, I've got that cable tied just there, and then it just kind of hangs freely, and my legs don't get in the way of it at all. And then down here I've ran the the USB cable under the pedal deck, zip tied on. It's nice and safe and out the way, works really well. And then the power cable I've just got here, just kind of hanging freely. But yeah, works really well, and it's easy to fold up. The strap that you would normally use to strap the pedals to the pedal deck, I use that to hold the whole thing together when it's folded up. I'm 5'11", and you can adjust this mounting plate forward and back a little bit with pre-drilled holes. I've got it as far forward away from me as possible, and it feels great. So when I extend my arms, my wrists hang over here, which is how it should be. And then that's just bolted to the wheelbase with two M6 bolts around 15mm, I believe. Were they 15? They might have been 20mm. Yeah, I think they were 20mm bolts. Sturdy, it's fine, just works really well. And then another really good cheat mod worth doing is these. I think they're just called strap. Oh, what were they called? Strap comfort covers. People use them for any kind of thing they're carrying with a strap. You simply Velcro on, and they make getting in and out of the rig much more comfortable because you're not gripping onto this material, which isn't as nice. And also your elbows will thank you for it, because the texture of that just isn't great, but these feel amazing. So yeah, that's really it for the modifications. I just wanted to do a quick video because I really enjoy this rig. It just works perfectly. It doesn't take up too much space, it's not heavy. You can carry it without folding it up pretty easily, and it just works. So yeah, I've got the TH8A shifter. I might do a mini review on how I mount that, but I've basically ordered a mount which clamps sort of here and just sticks out so it's down where it should be. So I'll be using that soon. May as well make use of the clutch pedal. So yeah, the rig feels really nice. Like, people complain that it flexes when you brake, but I've not noticed that. It might be an issue if you use what are they called? Those TCM pedals, like a load cell. Like if you use a load cell pedal, which requires like really firm braking, you might feel this whole thing kind of lean back a little bit, but I've not. And that little squash ball works really well. So yeah, that's basically it. In terms of like cleaning the Playseat, it's like an Alcantara material. All you need is a damp rag. That's literally it. One mod I am going to do actually is replace the fan inside, because it is making a bit of a noise every now and then. And I did some research, and it's a really common problem. The bearing, Thrustmaster used like the cheapest fan possible, and the bearing inside wears out, and it can make an awful racket. So I've ordered a Nocturna branded fan, I think it's called. Oh yeah, finally, there's one more mod. Just a quick release adapter thing here, because stock is just like this ugly screw that sticks out, and you just screw it into the plastic. It's like a self-tapper, which I thought was really naff. So these 3D printed on eBay for about £8. They just slide into position and it won't move, and then you just do it up with this. It has come loose once, but I think that's just because I didn't do it up hard enough, and it's been fine ever since. So yeah, I won't show me playing it because I don't have a tripod, but having a lot of fun on Gran Turismo. So yeah, hope this helps. I just fully recommended it, especially if you buy it used. You can save a ton of money. There's really no need to buy all this stuff new, in my opinion. So there's plenty of sim racers out there that buy it to give it a go and then get bored. So they sell it on quite cheap just to make some space in their house or whatever. So yeah, cheers. And I'll just throw in a bit of Lily action here. Hey Lily. She's a Chihuahua Terrier mix, I think. Something like that. She's a good girl, aren't you? So yeah, would recommend.